भी चाहता हूं, लेकिन आपका अपना कार्यक्रम है, ये कार्यक्रम प्रकृति का संवर्धन का कार्यक्रम है, ऐसा समझकर आप बड़ा दिल रखेंगे, ऐसी आप सबसे प्रार्थना। सभी का बहुत बहुत स्वागत। सदगुरु का पुनः मैं स्वागत करता हूं।
माननीय चेयरमैन श्री, आपके उष्मापूर्ण स्वागत शब्दों के लिए हम आपके तहे दिल से आभारी हैं।
Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor for me to introduce you to Radhe Jaggi, daughter of Sadguru ji, who did her schooling in Rishi Valley and went to Kalakshetra for learning Bharatnatyam. Her guru is the greatest classical dancer, Leela Samson, from whom she learned all her finesses and complexities of such an age-old dance form. Without further ado, I implore you all to put your hands together as we welcome Radhe Jaggi to hypnotize us with her artistic performance.
Thank you.
Namaskaram. One with a heart of fire, draped in the rivers and oceans, her hair the open sky, and her body the ground that we walk upon. Mother Earth, our source and sustenance. O Mother, in celebration of your grandeur, in concern for your well-being, I dance in tune to your rhythm, as I am just a small part of you.
Takita taka dhimi, takita taka dhimi, takita taka dhimi, takita taka dhimi, taka dhimi, tak. Kita dim, tak, takita takita taka dhina, takita takita dim. Kita dim, dim, tak, kita taka dhina, takita dim, tak. Kita dim, dim, tak, kita tak, kita dim, dim, taka dhina, tak, kita. Kita taka dina takita ding tak kita taka dina takita ding ding kita dina kita tak kita din kita din kita ding kita tak kita taka dina takita ding tak kita taka ding 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 dina 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 takita ding tak kita taka tung kita taka ding ding dina din taka dina takita ding tak kita din takita taka dimi takita takita dina kita dina dinga takita dina 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 dinga takita dina 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 dinga takita dina 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 takita dinga takademi takita dinga takademi takita dinga takita dina 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 takita takademi takita takademi takademi
ખૂબ સુંદર અને કલાત્મક પ્રસ્તુતિ માટે અમે આભારી છીએ રાધે. પૃથ્વી વિશાળ છે અને એક જીવ ભલે નાનું હોય પણ એની કેટલી મહત્તા છે એ તેઓએ આપણી આગળ ખૂબ સુંદર રીતે પ્રસ્તુત કર્યું. ખૂબ ખૂબ આભાર.
A yogi, an orator, an opinion maker, and recipient of Padma Vibhushan, India's highest civilian award. Sadhguru Ji, who was the founder of globally recognized Save Soil movement, began the journey to save soil this year on the 21st of March in an urgent bid to halt and reverse soil degradation across the world. Banaskantha, as a district that is dealing with low organic carbon content in soil, is encountering problems such as reduced water percolation, desertification, and lower agricultural yields. Therefore, Banas Dairy, under the chairmanship of Sri Shankar Bhai Chaudhary, recognizes and acknowledges the agenda of Save Soil as need of the hour. The movement of Save Soil under the aegis of Sadhguru Ji essentially seeks to first trigger citizen support towards conserving soil, and secondly, enable permeation of conservative as well as resuscitative measures into national policy. On that note, please put your hands together as I now invite the mystic, the visionary, the lone rider traversing across nations on the loving mission of Save Soil, and now in our beloved Bharat, Sadhguru Ji, to kindly come up on stage and enlighten us with a discourse on Save Soil.
આ હોલમાં તાળીઓ ખૂબ ગુંજવી જોઈએ જ્યારે સદગુરુએ બનાસની ધન્ય ધરાને પવિત્રમય કરી છે. I will request the dignitaries over here, front row માં જે છે તેઓ પ્લીઝ સદગુરુ સાથે અહીંયા સેવ ધ સોઇલના પ્લાક સાથે અહીંયા ઉપસ્થિત રહેજો પ્લીઝ. આપ સૌ સંગ્રામ સાહેબ, ચૌધરી સાહેબ, yeah, a few of them, 9-10 people, they can join for the photo shoot with the plaque.
Sure, please.
It's a photo op, so બનાસની માટી ખૂબ ટૂંક સમયમાં રેતાળ પ્રદેશમાં પરિવર્તિત થઈ રહી છે અને આ વિષય ખૂબ ચિંતાનું કારણ છે. શા માટે આવું થઈ રહ્યું છે, શા માટે આવું ન થવું જોઈએ, તેના કારણો અને તેના વિકલ્પો શું છે તે આપણને સદગુરુ પોતાના સ્વમુખે પોતાની વાણી સાથે અહીંયા કહેશે, પ્રસ્તુત કરશે. આ ખૂબ ગર્વની લાગણી અનુભવાય છે જ્યારે બનાસની ધરા પર સદગુરુ પોતે અહીંયા પધાર્યા છે. 27 દેશો પછી આપણો આ બનાસ વિસ્તારને પાવન કરવાનું તેમને જે આમંત્રણ સ્વીકાર્યું, અહીંયા પધાર્યા. એકવાર બનાસ ડેરીના પ્રયાસ માટે પણ તેનો પણ ખૂબ ખૂબ આભાર વ્યક્ત કરીએ. સૌનો ખૂબ ખૂબ આભાર.
Prime Minister. Oh, okay. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Please come again, sir. Namaste.
Sir, now we would like to hear from you, the entire August audience. Thank you so much.
Kalo na janati tava jananam Kalo na janati tava samapanam Drushto maya tava mahakaraha Yogeshwara Kala Kala Yogeshwara Kala Kala. Namaskaram and good evening to all of you. Namaskaram to all those who are in the other two halls. Namaskaram. Well, this unfortunate situation has come in the world. I'm very sorry I can't speak the Gujarati language, please bear with me. This unfortunate situation has come in the world that today every responsible soil scientist in the world is predicting a soil extinction. When we talk about when we use the word extinction, we refer to dinosaurs and dodos. Who would ever imagine, even 50 years ago, that we would be addressing the word extinction to soil of all the things? We've always taken it for granted that it's going to be there forever. We have used it, we have misused it, we have built these bodies out of it, I'm sorry. It is my 72nd day of being on the road, so my throat is a little troubling me a bit. My body's been doing very well in 26 different nations, in all kinds of weathers, but the moment I stepped into Mother India, now it is thinking it can freak a little bit, you know. So, who would ever imagine even 50 years ago that soil could disappear? So what is happening to our soil? I think you watched the video, right? Am I correct? Yes. So I won't go through the whole details, but simple thing is just this. Somewhere in early 20th century, to be precise, in 1918, a German scientist came up with nitrogenous fertilizer for the first time. So people applied this powder on their fields, boom, you know, fields burst out with new level of vigor. In India, in many parts of India, yields increased over 300%. So people started looking at this as magic powder. You throw it and something miraculous happens to the land. So once we got magic powder, one thing that started happening is, we wanted to plow every inch of the land. So slowly, all the vegetation that was on the land, permanent vegetation, I'm not talking about the crops. There used to be trees, there used to be bushes, there used to be various types of things in the farmland. They all slowly were removed because we wanted to plow every inch of the land. So plant life disappeared. Then as the work increased, we brought machines into the field, animals disappeared. Once plant life and animal life is gone, where is the organic material? This must sink into everybody's minds because I've been speaking to various people, particularly young people. They have this idea that there could be some app which will solve all these problems. Okay. That is, they think there is some technology with which they can do this. Well, we can come up with technologies for better application. Improved applications we can do. But there is no technology ever was and ever will be to manufacture organic material. There is only plant life and animal life. We must know this, and this must sink into our minds and hearts. It's very, very important. This is what we have forgotten. We think there is some other way. There is no other way. You can take some vitamin pills, you can take some iron, calcium, this, that, when something is missing in your body, but you cannot substitute that with food. You have to eat good food, and top of it, something is missing, you can add this and that. Similarly, the soil has to be alive and rich. We can add something to enhance our needs. Our needs have to be fulfilled. To fulfill those things, we can enhance it by adding this and that. But now we just forgot soil has to be alive. In the last 2.5 years, I've been talking to many agricultural ministries across the world. It's shocking to realize that 85% of the nations on the planet still address soil as an inert substance that you can fix by adding a chemical or taking away a chemical. Here we called it, what, mamati, what do you say? What do you say? We call it thyman, no? What do you call it? Huh? Mamati. You called it your mother? Was she a dead mother that delivered you? Hello? Can a dead mother deliver life? It has to be a living mother, isn't it? But 85% of the nations today, in 21st century, we are still calling it as an inert substance. Even in UN conventions, now it is changing, but till about a year ago, even in UN conventions, they are talking about soil like it's an inert substance that they can fix by doing this and that. Soil is the most complex and sophisticated and largest living system in the universe, not just on this planet. I want you to just look at this, not just here, not just in your land, not in Banas, not in Gujarat, not in India, not on the planet, in the entire universe. Is there a place like topsoil, where even if you sow death, it sprouts life? Tell me, where is it? Anywhere in this universe. In the known universe, there is no such thing. These 15 to 18 inches of topsoil is the magical cream of the earth. This produces 87% of the life that you see on the planet. Whether you see a worm, an insect, a bird, a tree, a man, woman, animal, elephant, whatever you see, everything has come from these 18 inches of soil. But in the last 100 years, 52% of this soil is gone from the planet. 52%. Today, on an average, according to UNFAO, 27,000 species of organisms are disappearing per year, every year. 27,000 species are disappearing. At this rate, if we slide, somewhere approximately in 25 to 40 years, from a slide, we will come to a tumble. When the tumble happens, we will not be able to control that. That will not be in our hands. Right now, it is still in our hands because it's sliding. We can arrest it, we can push it back, if we have the necessary will and determination. This doesn't need any rocket science to do it. This doesn't need enormous amount of money to do it. It's just that right now we are trying to face the wall and walk into it. We just have to face the door and have the commitment to make the journey. That's all it takes. That's all it takes for every nation. Why I'm saying every nation is, according to UN organizations of UNCCD and the UN, that is agency that's responsible for biodiversity, they are saying to call soil as soil, there must be minimum 3% organic content. Not a single nation in the entire world has minimum 3% organic content as an average. The highest is in Northern Europe, which is 1.48%. Southern Europe is 1.1%. United States is 1.25%. India is 0.68%. Africa is 0.3%, the entire continent we're talking about. 0.3%, which is almost on the verge of desertification. It's almost a desert, largely. India is heading there rapidly because 62% of India's land is below 0.5%. This was one of the most fertile lands on the planet. Hello? This was one of the most fertile lands on the planet. This is what we have done in the last 70 years' time. This is year 75 for India's independence. If we don't wake up and act, why this happened in India? Well, we must understand, before 1947, we faced severe famines. Gujarat has seen famines, Bengal has seen the worst of the famines, southern India has seen famines. There is no part of the country which has not experienced famine. Because of famines and because of various other factors also, the average life expectancy of an Indian in 1947 was 28 years. Can you believe this? In 1947, the average life expectancy of an Indian was 28 years. There are many other factors, but nutrition was the main factor. Today, in 75 years, we have really nearly reached 75 as an average. 73, 74 is our average life expectancy, which is tremendous achievement for any nation. But how did we achieve this? We achieved this through, I know you are white revolution people, but we achieved this through what is called as green revolution. What green revolution means is, for the first time we brought in chemical fertilizers and learned to use it, pesticides and use it. With this, we managed to produce food for 1 billion people. Not a small achievement, it's a fantastic thing. But we must understand, the measures that we took were emergency measures. It's like a bridge to cross a certain period. But we stayed on the bridge for too long. We should have come back to reviving our land, putting it back into its aliveness, but we stayed on the bridge for too long. Now, if a bridge goes for too long, it's not going to hit the ground, it keeps on going up, that means somewhere we're going to fall off. That's where we are going right now. But we can change this. It's still not reached that place where we cannot change it. As a generation, we have this opportunity. This is a unique opportunity for us, that we have a great challenge in front of us, but we have the privilege that we could be that generation which turned back from the brink of disaster, because every responsible scientist is pointing out by 2045, we'll be producing 40% less food because the biodiversity loss is such. 82% of the biomass insects have disappeared. 67% of the vertebrate population on the planet has disappeared. 92% of freshwater aquatic life has disappeared. This is suicide. This is not just India's case. This is a global situation. So if we don't wake up now, people will ask me, Sadhguru, is the world going to end? See, that is the problem. If the world ends, what problems do we have? It's all over. Hello? It's like going and asking a dead man, do you have any problems? He has no problems. Hello? Problems are good, that means you're alive. Hello? Yes or no? If you just have to learn to handle them, that's all. If you don't have any problems, you're dead. So, if the world ends, there is no problem at all. But the problem is, life just won't end like that. It'll slowly fade, making generations of people suffer immensely. That is the problem. That is the problem we're talking about. We have experienced famines. I don't know if you have met older generations of people who have been through famines. Have you spoken to anybody? If you ever speak to them, they will wish that one thing should never happen to another human being, because it is the worst way to die for a human being is a famine. If it's a war, you get killed in no time. It's simple. But famine is 3 to 4 months of slow death. It is the worst way to die. We have seen enough of this in the last centuries. We should never again, never ever again drive in that direction. We should never ever again, for any future generation here, create that possibility that they could drive into a famine. But I want you to understand, we are moving towards global famine situations. There are… see, I'm telling you, when food shortages come, whoever has the biggest guns, they will take all the food. Don't have any illusions about it. It's very important. As a global population, we must revive the soil, because if only our soil is rich, they will not let us have it. Oh, how can that happen? Well, have you forgotten, 75 years ago we were slaves? Hello? Somebody did come and take your land, what did you do? You paid taxes to them. Yes or no? 100% taxes you paid in Gujarat, haven't you? Why is our memory so brief? We must understand, there are people in the world where if you have something that they don't have, they will come and take it anyway. Don't have any illusions. In 21st century, leave 20th century, in 21st century, how many nations have been taken, how many have been destroyed by powers that be? You know that. Hello? So, let's not get into global politics. The important thing is the source of our life. We must take care of that, to keep that alive. It's very important. Soil is the mother of our mothers. Without that we cannot exist. But unfortunately today we call this science. It sounds inhuman to me. Science cannot be inhuman. Science is a deeper understanding of life. But right now, as science, we call soil as a resource. All of us have fed upon our mother's breast. Do we call her a resource? I'm asking. Is she a source of our life, or is she a resource? Resource. You calling your mother a resource is the worst possible thing you can do in your life, isn't it? This is what we're doing. The soil that feeds you, the soil that gave you body, the very body that we carry is soil. Will we get this now, or will we get it only when we are buried? So we are finding so many ways to divide ourselves. How many ways? Nationality, race, religion, language, caste, creed, how many divisions we have created. But if all of us are buried in one land, we all become the same soil. Hello? So, soil is not only an ecological issue, it is also a unifying factor, and world badly needs that. In all these divisions, which have created so much conflict and so much confrontations, daily basis fighting and arguments going on, is it not important that we have a common denominator that all of us can identify with? Your religion and my religion is different, my language and your language is different, my nationality, your nationality different, endless number of things. But we all come from the same soil. We are eating of the same soil. When we die, we get back to the same soil. At least this much common factor we need to stand upon. We are standing upon it. It's time human beings become conscious of this, because right now we are using machines and plowing the soil. As I said, it's first 15 to 18 inches where maximum amount of life is happening. Handful of soil has 8 to 10 billion organisms. But we are plowing 12 to 14 inches deep and leaving it open to the sun. I'm saying here also, my heart bleeds whenever I see a plowed land which is open and empty for months on end. This is murder of the soil. This is matruhatya, what we're doing, because the moment you plow it open and leave it, it's killing it. Every farmer in this country knew about this. I've lived on farms. Every farmer in the country knew this, that when land is not in crop, there must be a cover crop. Sir, all of you knew, sir, at one time? Everybody, sir? The older farmers are here? Huh? Everybody knew this just 50 years ago. How come we forgotten this? So in the name of science, should we lose our sense? That's exactly what's happened. Science is a deeper sense, not a nonsense, all right? Science means what you could not grasp through your senses, that sense. It's called Vigyan in India. Vigyan means it comes from the word Vishesh Gyan. Gyan that you could not grasp by seeing, hearing, smelling and tasting, you grasp something more than that. That is Vigyan. But now we are using Vigyan like Agyan. Yes, because Vigyan has to be used sensibly. Because, see, if you touch somebody's skin, you can do like this, it's okay. But if the skin is peeled, how you touch them, you must be very careful. This is a medical college, I'm telling the young people. Hello? Once somebody's skin is open, how you touch them is a different level of sensitivity. Yes or no? Knowledge is just like this. If you are a barber, you can cut like this, chuk, 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 talking to them, discussing politics. You can cut their hair. If little mistake happens, it's all right, you can say it's a new style. But if you're doing an operation, you don't gossip and do this. Hello? Yes or no? So this is just because a little deeper knowledge, isn't it? So this is the difference between simple sensory knowledge and Vigyan, whether it is of scientific nature or spiritual nature or whatever. Once you have an access to something deeper, you have to be much more gentle. Yes or no? But this is what we lost. In the name of science, we even gave up simple sense that we had. Every farmer knew a cover crop is needed. But no cover crops anywhere, sir. Don't go by my word. Just take a flight from Delhi to Chennai. Every 5 minutes, look out of the window. You see a brown desert, the whole country. Except Western Ghats and northeastern part of the country, which are mountainous and green, the plain lands of India, in this May month, you fly and see, the whole country looks like a desert. Not just Rajasthan, not just parts of Gujarat, entire country looks like a desert. This is what we have done. If we don't change this, we will make sure future generations have no future left. See, when there is good food to eat, when there is good water to drink, air to breathe, in spite of that, life throws you many challenges. Hello? Yes or no? In spite of that. But if you deny these things to people, they don't need any other challenge. Food itself will become a great challenge. Nutrition itself will become a great challenge, isn't it? Right now, here and there, a small percentage of people, unfortunately they're still there, who don't have access to food either because of their financial situations, are begging on the streets. Unfortunate, but it's still there. But food is there in the city, a few people don't have it. Little more compassion, they can also have it. Little more money, they can also have it. Possible. But when there is no food in the city, that's a different situation. I want you to just imagine any city, big city that you know in this country, or villages even worse, if 40% of the people have no food to eat and no food to buy, do you know what will happen? Your 1,000 years of civilization will evaporate in 3 days' time. In 3 days' time, everything will evaporate. I must tell you this, when famines happen in certain parts of the world, it has so happened that people, out of their hunger, they have cut the limbs of their young children and eaten it. They didn't want to kill them, so they cut the limbs and ate it just to survive. They survived. But do you think ever again they can be the same human beings, having done such a thing? Human beings should never be driven to such situations. But human societies have driven themselves into those situations and come out of it, lived with lots of bitterness. But right now, the whole global situation is heading in that direction because of soil deterioration. I want you to research by yourself there is UNFAO, there's UNCCD, there are any number of UN organizations. There are big agro-scientists who put this up, but nobody listens to them. So I was addressing the top scientists in Rome about 5-6 months ago. So I was only concerned that, scientists may not accept the way I speak, because a lot of people think simple things should be complicated. I'm seeing how to make complicated things simple for the people, because that's most important. So I said, see, many of you have spent your lifetime doing soil research and soil science, but I am not going to make this science simple, I will make it simplistic. Is it all right with you? In one voice, they said, Sadhguru, simplistic is the way forward, because we have reams and reams of research that even universities are not opening and looking. Academics are not reading it. Forget about the farmer, forget about the politician, policymakers. Academics are not even opening these books, because about every aspect we have thousands of pages. Who is going to ever read this? They said simplistic is the way forward. I said, okay, once I have your blessings, no problem. And I'm presenting in a simple way. You want to know the science of it, there is a lot. But the more you read it, the more you find access to it, the more terrible it looks. But as terrible as it is, especially India's land has maximum amount of species on the planet for whatever reason. I don't know for what reasons. In some parts of India, we have found the number of soil species that we find in this country is much more than what is in the Amazon forest. Why this is so? What has happened in this land? Is it, is it a blessing that we have? Is it a geological process? Or is it an ecological benefit that we have for whatever reasons? Or maybe more of us died and got buried for a long time here, so there is more? We don't know why. But there are more species in this land, that means this land can bounce back much more easily than most other lands. But I want to tell you great inspiration stories. Since 1950s, as most of you know by now, in Israel, today they are producing 94% of their food requirement. They have a tiny piece of desert. Only 17% of their land is naturally arable. 54% is desert, total desert. But they're growing 94% of their food requirement. Another surprise you wouldn't believe is Saudi Arabia, since 1970s, started this transformation. They flattened the dunes, the sand dunes. They flattened the dunes and turned it into agricultural lands. Today they're producing 54% of their food requirement in their own country. Now, UAE, the Arabian Emirates and Saudi and others are all looking towards India with the hope that Indians could be trusted to grow their food for future. They've already bought large hectares of large acreages of land. In South America, in United States, in Africa, they bought miles and miles of land, but they're little afraid to develop it for various global situations. That they know when really food crisis comes, those who have the guns will take it. So they're looking at India with hope that we can find a bond. You need oil, we will give you, but we need soil. Good exchange. But we need to regenerate our land for this. If we want to see, this is a unique advantage we have. From southern tip of India, from Kanyakumari to Himalayas, look at the latitudinal spread that we have. You can grow just about anything. Anything that the world wants to eat. From Kanyakumari to Himalayas, you have every type of weather pattern that you can grow what you want, every type of soil, you can grow what you want. The world needs food. We have 60% of the people invested in agriculture. If you use this properly, we can produce just about anything. And keeping agriculture as still a top-level earner for us is one of the most secure ways to keep the nation. One industry will be boom doing today, tomorrow morning boom, it'll go down because of some technology changes, something happens, you know. I'm not saying that should not, there is urban population to do that, but it's very important. Rural populations learn to make agriculture a very economically lucrative process, as Banas has a fantastic demonstration of that. Because if this doesn't happen, it is expected in India by 2032 to 2035, 220 million people will be moving towards urban centers, migration. Tell me which city in this country has the infrastructure to house 220 million people? Can Mumbai take another 50 million people? You think so? Delhi can take another 50 million people, Chennai can take 30 million people. Everything will be disaster if that many people come in 10 years' time. But that is what is expected. In the world, it is expected 1.2 billion people will migrate, forced migrations, because of land depletion. Land depletion leads to water scarcity. By 2032, it is expected 3.5 billion people will be water stressed. That means their daily drinking water will be a challenge. We have this problem in the country, but we've been romanticizing it. You've seen any movie from 70s, 80s, I think these days maybe it's not so much there because I've not seen the movies, maybe it's still there. You will see any Indian movie in 70s, 80s, the woman will be carrying a big pot, this big because she's carrying an empty pot usually. The cinema star is carrying an empty pot, this big mud pot, painted nicely, and she's walking, she will sing, she will romance, she will dance. Nothing like that happens in the village because in this pot there are 18 to 20 kilograms of water on her head, and she's got another one and maybe a child. You think she's going to dance and romance on the street? Hello? I'm saying there is nothing romantic about a woman walking 2-3 miles to get a pot of water for her family. Hello? There is nothing romantic about it, but we have romanticized these things. If she carries a milk pot, at least there is something to it. For water, she is walking 2 miles. It is not a romantic story at all. So, these things, water stress has been there in the country, almost across the country. Now we are trying to pipe water to every home. Well, it's a good idea, but water means we must understand this. In a tropical nation like ours, see, the problem is lot of our plans in early development of this country, we have made on the basis of what's been done in Europe and North America. One fundamental difference is, we are a temperate climate, they are a temperate climate, we are a tropical climate. What this means is, there the main source of water for them is melting ice. For us, only 4% of India's rivers are melting ice. The rest of it is all monsoon. In the last 100 years, I know Gujaratis, Banas people may not agree with me, but the fact is, in the last 100 years, the volume of monsoon rain that is landing on the country has not decreased a little bit. It's the same level. Last year it is 27% more than average. But our problem is, the water that comes down, instead of staying in the soil, it is flooding away, which causes further damage of erosion. But the important thing is, the soil doesn't have the organic content to hold. It doesn't have the content to hold the water and retain this. So Indian rivers flow like this, that the soil holds the water, slowly lets it go drop by drop, small rivulets, streams, rivers, this is how it happens. Kaveri river had over 123 tributaries. Today 54 of them have gone dry, totally. People have built homes in the riverbeds. 54 tributaries have gone completely gone. When I grew up around Kaveri, how much it was when I was growing up there, today only 40% of the river remains. And this is our lifeline for southern India. Maybe here you've forgotten what is a river. Because, like when I was doing Rally for Rivers, I was in Navi Mumbai, I came there and one little girl, maybe she's about 8 or 9, maybe 10 years of age, she's fiery speeches giving in Marathi. I couldn't understand most of it. Then I asked, what's she talking about? She's saying, Sadhguru is lying. He's talking about, I've heard his video, he's talking about floating down a river. How can you do that? I've never seen a river. All our rivers are brown, I've not seen water. He's lying to us that he went down in a raft. I said, okay, this is… And we did art competitions in 42,000 schools for Rally for Rivers. Many children actually painted brown patches as rivers because that's a river they've seen. I mean, that is the river they've seen. It is like, I was in UAE, this children's art about their landscape is all sand dunes. Okay, if you ask an Indian child, maybe they'll do a paddy field or something else. All the children are drawing, desert landscape because that's where they've grown up, that's what they've seen. I'm saying we are heading in this direction. In the last 25 years, please listen to this carefully, this is a dangerous thing. In the last 25 years, 10% of the earth's land has turned into desert. I want you to just look up the Google Maps from year to year, okay? 2022, go to 2021, 20, go back like this, 20 years, you will see 10% of the land is gone in 25 years. What's our plan for life? Please, if you have any kind of question. I know Banas is a tremendous success story and it's fantastic, as I was just telling I don't know what are the different positions, Shankar Bhai and others who are there. As I was just saying in private, that this is very important because in a country like India of its size and its population and its variety and the economic weakness from which we have grown from 1947, there is no way that we can just look up to the governments and say, you do it, you do it. It's never going to happen. It doesn't happen like that in any country, but some people have developed this attitude, they think democracy means tell the government, you do it. Government doesn't do anything, can make policies, can adjust a few things, do infrastructure, rest has to be done by the people. Banas is a fantastic example of people's movement being an economic success. That too a cooperative movement, which is most important. Please, if you have questions, any kind of question. Yes?
Thank you, Sadhguruji, for your pearls of wisdom and for taking up this arduous journey across the world to initiate Safe Soil. We are now open to any questions that might assuage the inquisitiveness of audience by means of questions.
આપણી પાસે જે પણ questions હોય તે આપ હાથ ઊંચો કરીને પૂછી શકો છો regarding Save the Soil. We have the volunteers. We'll hand the microphone to you. Just hold on. Excuse me.
I think it'll be nice if you can direct them so that they
Sure,
can…
we'll do that.
Sadhguru, we are seeing that in Assam it is flood just at present, and here we are starving for the water. So don't you think the joining the rivers of across the country, that should be the solution? Government should take initiative to do that first instead of making such big highways and other infra things. Don't you think so?
Well, sir, I'm talking about the soil could die in 40, 45 years and cause a big disaster. What you are saying, if we do it tomorrow, The nation will die in 25 years, sir. Let me tell you why. See, as I told you, tropical rivers run in a certain way. These talks are coming because you have seen European rivers connected, American rivers connected. They are temperate rivers. Water is just flowing from melting ice. And the land is already wet. When I say land is already wet, in a temperate climate, in most nations, up to 3 to 4 months, there is at least a foot of snow sitting there. What is snow sitting there means? It is slowly melting and dripping into the soil. One thing is, most temperate climates, their farming is only for 4 months in a year. Rest of the time the land is rested and there is a snow cover which drips into the soil and recharges the soil every year. You don't have such a mechanism here. When rain comes, if there is no vegetation, all you have is a flood. So flood and drought are not two different phenomena. It is like day and night. If this happens, that is bound to happen, the other one. Flood means, there's a beautiful saying in Tamil, Kaveri nadundu vandadal valam, odi vanda vellam. This means Kaveri, because Kaveri is the lifeline, Kaveri is great prosperity only if she comes walking. If she comes running, she is a disaster. Yes, she must come walking. If she has to come walking, what should we do? There must be substantial vegetation so that water is absorbed by the land and flows slowly. Right now, to tell you, sir, in Kaveri Basin in the last 70 years, we have removed 82% of the tree cover. In Ganga Basin, which accounts for 25% of India's geography and 33% of India's agriculture, we have removed 92% of the green cover. People are thinking if they plant 1,000 trees, 10,000 trees, 1,000,000 trees, they have achieved something. Nothing, I'm telling you. We have planted 67 million. In the meantime, pandemic came, all states forgot about it because pandemic situation created such a pandemonium that we forgot about everything else for some time. Once again, we have to revive that, we are working, but southern states, because we have a massive farmer engagement, 83,000 square kilometers of land, which is the Kaveri Basin, with 5.2 million farmers, we started implementing what we called as Kaveri calling. This was an emotional moment for Kannada and Telugu people, Tamil people, that Kaveri calling is in local languages Kaveri Kugu or Kaveri Kukkurul, which tugs their heartstrings. So because of that, we got them engaged. Above all, it took over 7 years to get the policies changed in the state government. At least in Karnataka it has happened. Tamil Nadu it's yet to happen. The simple thing is this, I don't know what the laws are in Gujarat, I think our team should know. If you grow a tree in your own land and then you cut it for your use, police could come and arrest you. Activists will come and protest in front of your house because you cut your tree. So the simple understanding is, don't ever plant a tree in your land because it's trouble. I'm saying, in your land you grow whatever damn thing you want, it should be available to the farmer to use it, yes? Hello? Right now, the laws are… British laws are such, we still have them, not implemented, but still it is there. I want you to know, in most states, I don't know what's the state in Gujarat, by law, below 3 meters of land, whatever you get does not belong to the farmer, belongs to the government. It's still… Yes. No, this must change. Even if I find gold or oil or diamond, it should belong to the landowner. Government can tax me. They can't take it away. Hello? Just because paying the compensation for me. But if I find gold, you will take it away. If I find oil, you will take it away. This is not it. I'm telling you, in every country, today if you go to South Dakota, Utah and other places, almost every farmer has got an oil mill working. He's farming, he's got an oil mill. I've met so many of these farmers. The oil mill is not some great production, it is making $10,000 to $20,000 per month. So suddenly, they're all prosperous. The corn farmers, soya bean farmers, they were all struggling. One oil mill they put in their land, $10,000 to $20,000 per month they're earning. Suppose if our farmer hits oil, you will come and take away the land? So what it means is, below 3 meters is not yours means, even the water is not yours, you better know that. This law must change in the country. It must change. Whatever is in my land must belong to me. Only then I have involvement to do the right things. Hello? So now if I grow one sandalwood tree, it doesn't belong to me. What is the matter with us? And we are importing sandalwood from Australia. You must get kangaroos from Australia, not sandalwood. Sandalwood belongs to our country, but we are importing it because it's illegal to grow it here. Why? Because sandalwood smugglers are there. If sandalwood smugglers, in India there were smugglers who were smuggling watches, phones, this, that. All those people have shifted to something else today, all right. Why? Because it's available here. Yes or no? In your local mall it's available, so nobody wants to smuggle anymore. So I'm saying, if people are going into the forest and cutting one sandalwood tree with great difficulty they're coming, isn't it better you allow everybody to grow it? Hello? 1.2 lakh crores worth of timber we are importing in the country from other countries. But we won't let our farmers grow it? Why can't our farmers grow the tree and make money out of it? Today, in many of the farms in southern India, every 12 years, when they cut selectively, not all of them, when they cut selectively a few trees, every 12 years, they are getting enough money, the kind of money they would have gotten only if they sold the land. So every 12 years, you can sell the land and still keep the land. See, it's extremely important that a farmer should earn as much as a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer or an IT professional, whatever is driving our youth. Whatever is driving our youth to go and pile up in the cities, unless rural population earns the same thing, you cannot make anybody live on the land in another 25, 30 years' time. We made some kind of a survey, not even 2% of the farmers in southern India want their children to become farmers. In another 25 years, who will grow this food? You think agriculture universities can grow this food for you? Do you believe that? I'm telling you, I have spoken to many MScs and PhDs in agriculture sciences, they can't grow a damn thing. They can talk about it. Because farming is a certain intrinsic thing. It is not something that you just read in a book. It is like a lot of people are looking at the book, internet and trying to cook. They do cook something, but I don't have to say much about it. So don't do river connection, sir, please.
Sir, just 1 minute. There is a gentleman.
One aspect of that.
Just 1 minute. Yeah, please.
Just one moment, sir, please. Give me a moment.
Sure,
One
sir.
aspect is, for the purpose of flood mitigation, if we want to redirect something, possible. For the purpose of drinking water, if we have to transport it, pipe it. Open canal in a tropical country is a crime. It's a crime. Because every 100 kilometers, nearly 66% of the water evaporates, every 100 kilometers. Huh? Pipelines.
Namaskaram, Sadhguru. Congratulations and thank you very much for this wonderful campaign. I have a issue which is a bit bigger than this Save Soil, but regarding the land, agricultural land. Some of answer you have given in previous answer. You have spoken that these metro cities, they cannot consume the accommodation of the lakhs and millions of people. But actually the things are happening opposite way. The place we are talking right now is a 10 km away village from the main city, But 5 years ago, this institution has been made, and a road is expanded. Now, both the agricultural land, both the side of the road, it is converting into the residential societies, and they are going NAs and petrol pump kind of commercial thing, and it is happening everywhere. This is just a small example. So this previous year's statistics of wealth statistics is 67% of the wealth is in the real estate in India also, and it's increasing. So the problem is, even in small villages, and even the older farmers.
Got the point, sir. Ask me the question.
Yeah, the question is this: how to inspire people to do farming? When this last thing that I was talking is very important. That the people are waiting actually in villages, that when the city urbanization will reach to us and we will arrive to…
Got it, sir. Come to the question, sir.
The question is how to inspire people to farm the land, not to rent it or not to turn it into a residential or a financial. Thank you, sir.
Tell me, sir, out of 1 acre of land, if you were earning about 25 lakhs per year, would you build a large building on it, sir? Would you, sir? That's all the solution is. You have to make farming a very lucrative process. Please understand, you decided to go by market economy, all right? Once it's market economy, wherever there is money, wherever there is profit, people will move that way. Now if people are building large homes in the village, that means somebody is doing well, we must be happy. So we thought village means they must live in slums. Now, I'm using this word which is very consciously, because I want you to understand the entire nation is a slum. If you leave the cities, in city half the city is a slum, rest of the nation is largely a slum. What is it that you call a slum? Where there is no proper roof, where there is no proper sanitation, where there is no for any amenities for children to play, there is no safety for women, this is a slum, all right? Isn't that the case with most of the villages in the country, I'm asking you? Hello? You call it a village because you've not lived there, you think there is something romantic about it. There is nothing romantic, it's a slum. So if people are beginning to live well in one region, don't rule that, sir, let them live well. Because they're all dairy farmers, maybe they're building better homes for themselves, let them build. For this also, we are proposing this, it's not happened yet. Karnataka government may take it up. Just now, when I was in Davos, I presented this strongly to the Karnataka Chief Minister. He is looking at it. I am suggesting what is called as a one-building city. Similarly, we can do a one-building village. Sir, what is the average population in small villages around Banas? 5,000? 3 to 5,000? Let's say 5,000. Now, sir, these 5,000 people as a village could be occupying about 10 acres of buildings, around that much. From what I see in southern India, it's about that much. 5,000 people means they are occupying nearly 10 to 12, sometimes 15 acres of land, haphazardly built like this, like this, like this. Nobody can find their way except, children are playing in the streets, the women are sitting on the streets in the night, because there's no other place to sit. Either they have to sit in their homes, if they step out, they're on the street. That's how the arrangement is. Today, Tamil Nadu government and Karnataka government has, in recent years, has made all the roads inside the villages concrete roads, so that it functions both as rainwater drain and road and evening meeting time and a place to clean your grain, everything, all in one arrangement. Instead of this, sir, 10 acres or 15 acres you have, you just build half an acre of building, 50 floors or whatever number of floors. You can have everything here, residential buildings, whatever little arrangements you need a mill, you need this, you need that, you need cow shed in that building, or you can put it separately. Remaining 12 acres, strictly don't build, plant trees, have this and that, nice atmosphere for children to play, people will live well. proper homes for everybody, safety in all kinds of weather, no leaking homes, everybody has electricity. If you want to air condition it, you air condition it. But above all, people will get to live well. With enough trees and forest-like atmosphere around them, children will grow up well. This problem in the cities that you have in Indian cities today, if you step out of your house, you're in the traffic. The price for that we will pay in the next 15 to 20 years. You watch my words, I'm not saying this with any pleasure, it pains me to see this. You will see a tremendous rise in psychological problems of Indian people, which we have not had till now, simply because children do not know what it means to run out and burst out and play. They always have to… mothers will be holding them by the hair and pulling them back because the guy will go and kill himself if he steps out of the house. Every day this is happening, yes or no? If you do not create an atmosphere where child can be carefree, he can jump, he can climb a tree, fall down, do whatever nonsense he wants, if you do not create that, this is a simple way to ensure people grow up healthy here. Otherwise they'll all go cuckoo slowly. The percentage of people who will lose their minds will increase significantly when they don't play, when they are children. This is very important. So this needs to happen. Sir, in Banas you have so much control, Shankar Bhai. If all of you big people are here, if you take up and build a few model villages like this, these 15 acres what they're using, you give them one apartment, first build because otherwise they won't go there. First build and then convert the village into a forest-like atmosphere where people can live better, water is there, no waste goes out, power can be generated right there, everything can be totally eco-friendly and a beautiful village, all living in one tall building. You have to just change your mindset, that's all. When we built these things 1,000 years ago, we had no plan, we just went whichever way we went. It was all right for those days. But today our situation has come, the smaller our footprint, the better we will live. Because for 1.3 billion people, you don't have land to simply build whichever way you like. So his problem also will be solved.
Namaste. So you just said that we have to make our agriculture very lucrative and productive. But there is a common apprehension and common perception that doing away with the chemical fertilizer will make our agriculture a lost profession. It will
not just a lost profession, sir. Half the population may die.
That may happen.
Yes.
And many saying that the present turmoil in the Sri Lanka, along with the political reason, there is
That's a
faulty
different…
agriculture policies. So what could be the possible solution that we have a balanced and sustainable approach so far as our agriculture economics is concerned?
Sir, I never at any point said you must get rid of the fertilizer or pesticide or herbicide or weedicide. I did not say, I only talking about get rid of the suicide. I'm only against suicide, I'm not against anything. All I'm asking you is, if you are a farmer actually working on the land, to do anything that you want, would you want your soil rich and alive or dead? Then why? Which other option do we have, I'm asking? There is no other option. Soil should be rich and alive. Now, you're eating well, you're healthy, on top of it, you want to take some vitamin pill. What's my problem? You take. Somebody takes 1, somebody takes 10, it's their choice. Not for me to tell them, they can eat whatever they want. Similarly, in your land you can use whatever you want, but pesticide, weedicide, fertilizer, you're not plucking it from the sky, you have to buy it. It costs money, lot of money. So if you're a farmer, will you simply take it and simply spill it on the land, even if you don't need it? Why do you think the farmer is putting so much? Because if he doesn't put that, nothing will come out of it right now. At 0.68%, nothing will come out of the land if fertilizers are not put. So city people think farmer enjoys throwing fertilizer on his land because they saw in the movies like this. They think he is enjoying it. His heart is bleeding because he knows how much money it costs. Hello? Yes, sir? Am I being too abrasive, sir? His heart is bleeding. I've been a farmer, I've worked on the land, I know to buy a few bags of fertilizer and throw it away, it hurts. It's not for joy he's putting it. If you don't put that, nothing will come out of it. That's why he's putting it. So don't talk about reducing fertilizer. Increase the organic content. Naturally, fertilizer will start sliding down. In one land, it may happen in 5-6 years' time. In another land, it may take 20 years' time. Leave it to the farmer. Just leave it to the farmer. Why is everybody talking about how to do the farming? Just enhance, create incentives to raise the organic content. Create sufficient incentives. When he raises the organic content, you think he's simply going to buy a lot of fertilizer and throw it all over the place? Why do you think he's such a fool? He's not. Nobody is talking about don't use this. This is not against anybody. I want this attitude to go into all of you because everybody is thinking, oh, we are climate warriors, war against climate change. I say climate change is bad enough, we don't need a war. Hello? This is not a protest, this is not an agitation, this is not in anger and resentment against somebody. We clearly understand every one of us are partners in this destruction. The only way around is every one of us become partners in the solution. There is simply no other way. This is an expression of our love and responsibility for the life that we are, the life that's around us, and the life that should be beyond us. That is an important thing. Life should be here beyond us, isn't it?
Sadhguruji, as we know, that Banas is the milk bowl of the nation. The maximum milk production is being done over here. And your one good suggestion for the entire population of Banas Dairy, which will definitely help save soil, our mission, and that's how we can go even better and convert from arid land to a green land. Sir, one good and immediate suggestion of yours.
They're already using the cow dung to make organic fertilizer. Well, it's a profitable thing for the dairy farmer to do it, they must do that. But it is also important, the regular farmers and dairy farmers should not be two separate people. The regular farmer should also be a dairy farmer so that he doesn't have to pay for the organic content. Only then it can be practically done. If you don't have your own organic content, buying it and doing it is always going to be economically not a thing. First of all, farmers' economy is so fragile. If you try to do anything with it, this is not just in India, this is across the world. I want you to know, in United States, 50% of the farmers have not received $1 of profit for 12 years now. 12 years. The number of suicides in United States, you don't hear about it because it all goes off as gun violence. People shooting up their old family and shooting themselves, any number of cases. Because 50% of the farmers have not seen a single dollar in 12 years. Bank loans grow, their, the banks come and take over, at least here it's not happening. Their banks come and take over the lands and sell it to somebody else and somebody else. Now, big-moneyed people like Ted Turner and even Bill Gates and others, now they bought up huge tracts of land. Especially Ted Turner has brought up some, I don't know, some millions of hectares of land, and now they've just left it wild. No, that's an important thing. In America, that's a very good thing to do. You just leave it wild as it is. Whatever grows naturally grows. No farming, no nothing, a few animals just living there. No trying to use it for yourself. Just leave it so that soil regeneration happens and it lives as it should, land should be. So they have done this to millions of hectares. People who made money in industry and other businesses, they're all buying thousands of acres of land. We in our Isha Foundation owns a little over 20,000 acres in Tennessee. 70% of it we've committed for conservation. That means we'll live keeping it as forest. Only 30% we're using for our developing a spiritual city. But otherwise 70% is committed just to be like that. This is important, but we can't afford to do that in India. We don't have that kind of land for the population that we have. So here the way to do it is tree-based agriculture. It's very important, because just animal waste won't do the trick. Animal waste is very important, but plant litter, the tree litter is equally important. If you want, today morning, I'm sorry, things are moving at such a pace, I thought it's yesterday. Today morning I told Shankar Bhai to send at least 50-100 farmers to Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, where clear demonstrations of how farmers in about 6 to 8 years, their incomes have gone up 300 to 800%. 300 to 800% income gone up because of very smart tree-based agriculture. They're growing turmeric, paddy, they're growing variety of crops among the trees, using the trees as fodder for the plants, and also having a few animals. It's a integrated kind of agriculture which needs to happen nationwide, but incentives are needed. Karnataka government came up with this incentive. I'm sure with the influence that you have in Gujarat, you can do this. Karnataka government has given an incentive that if a farmer plants a tree, he gets 125 rupees as subsidy. Not immediately, growth-based subsidy, 4 years. So if you plant a tree today, it is taken note of, it's geo-coded by ISRO, it's all there. And every year, all he has to do is, there are local youth volunteer agents that we have set up who are given some minimum incentive. For every tree that they encourage a farmer to plant, he gets 50 paisa. So if he plants 10,000 trees in a month through farmers, he gets 5,000 rupees per month as an income. So he goes around and he does that thing. Our volunteers manage those agents, and this is a whole system. When he takes the picture and puts it on the government website, within 24 hours, money goes straight to his account. Now, millions of farmers are going for tree-based agriculture. Earlier, we used to call this agroforestry. The moment we called it agroforestry, we came under forest department and endless number of restrictions came upon us. So we just renamed it as tree-based agriculture, and all our problems are gone and we're doing well.
Amazing.
Thank you, Sadhguruji. I now invite the Managing Director of Banas Dairy, Shri Sangram R. Chaudhary, to please come up on the stage and deliver a vote of thanks.
Sir, before vote of thanks, sir, I have something for Shankar Bhai. Can I do that?
Please.
Sir, please. I wish I could say this in your language, or at least in Hindi, but I'm terrible with both the languages.
Chairman, आप पेरी राज्यों ले translation થઈ જશે.
Sir, I don't hold any office. I'm not a minister or a director or a president of any organization or anything, but I'm inspiring and appointing Shankar Bhai as the ambassador for Safe Soil Movement in Gujarat.
We can be louder, we can cheer this moment. It is indeed a matter of pride.
Thank you. Thank you.
ખૂબ સુંદર ક્ષણ છે જ્યારે સદગુરુ આપણા ચેરમેન શ્રીને એમ્બેસેડર તરીકે નિયુક્ત કરી રહ્યા છે. Indeed, a moment of pride and pleasure. Thank you, sir, for doing this wonderful gesture.
Sadhguru, we are blessed with your presence today. We, the people of Banaskantha and the elite class of Banaskantha and the adjoining district, many of them are doctors, the industrialists, there are philanthropists, there are lawyers, eminent professionals from all walks of life. We came here
Sadhguru, we feel overwhelmed and blessed today with your presence on Banaskantha. Our chairman, Sri Shankar Bhai, whom we have made the ambassador for the Save Soil in Gujarat now, he has a dream to make this district as a model district in the country. He has given...
No. No, sir. Now he has to make Gujarat a model state.
Okay. So this is a bigger dream now. This is a bigger dream for us, that not our district, but the Gujarat should become a model state in the country. He has given us, he has inspired us to embark on water conservation, afforestry, seed ball plantation on our hillocks. We work for gobar processing, and the same farmers, those who do the dairying, they get back our processed manure, the organic manure. He is inspiring us to do more organic way. He is very aware of that. We are collecting about 7.5 million liters of milk every day from Banaskantha. And he tells us that we can't continue like this for a longer period of time because we are exporting water. This is a fact. I don't acknowledge this, but this is a fact that we take water from the district. We send water to Delhi. We send water to Kanpur, Lucknow, and all over the country. So
this is a very important thing, sir, because people don't understand when we grow food and send it somewhere, we are sending away our soil. So not that we should not send it, we must replenish it. Otherwise, soil will go away.
So Banas Dairy has dreamed to do a balanced, holistic approach to we must conserve our water which we are using, and we must conserve our soil. I thank all of you. Once again, my chairman has already said that if you are not very comfortable and you had to sit into the another hall, we are sorry. We had limited infrastructure. We apologize for this. We thank from bottom of my heart that you came all over and you responded to our invitations. I thank the chairman of Amul Federation. I thank my managing committee, board directors, and on behalf of my chairman and on behalf of my Banas family, we are indebted to you. We wish that you will carry on this message of Sadguru, save soil in a sincere way. It is suicidal for all of us. It is suicidal for the next generation of us. So it's not a simple thing. It's a crisis. It's a crisis. It's very serious issue which Sadhguru is seized of and is spreading across the country, across the world. We promise Sadhguru that we will be joined with you, with Isha Foundation, and we'll carry forward your movement, Save Soil, and we'll be part of it with sincere efforts. Thank you, Sadhguru. Thank you, all of you. Thank you all.
This is important as citizens of a democratic nation. Our voice is as important as our hands. What work we do, our voice is equally important. To make this happen as a national policy, we are working with the central government. We are very confident with, our beloved Prime Minister definitely has this issue in his heart, but as you know, sensitivities in the country, but definitely we will move that way. For this to move that way effectively, it's important the people of India keep their voice up for soil. Not for Isha Foundation, not for Sadhguru, for soil, you must keep your voice up. For the next few months, if you keep it up, policies will happen. Thank you very much. Are we putting the soil anthem? Yes. There is a soil anthem that everywhere, make sure it reverberates on your phones and in your society. Yes, please.
Thank you, sir. We'd also like to thank all the other dignitaries here and guests for partaking in this common concern, as well as the volunteers of Isha Foundation and staff of Banas Dairy who have been working relentlessly for the success of this event. Ladies and gentlemen, let today's dialogue act as a catalyst for us to show our support and solidarity by garnering as much awareness and reaching out to as many people as we can so as to save soil for our future generations. On that cue, let us play the anthem.
And I request everyone that next time when we welcome Sadhguruji, we welcome with open arms and also on the green land. We promise you, sir, we'll do that. And સદગુરુ જ્યારે અહીંયાથી પ્રસ્થાન કરતા હોય ત્યારે સર્વે મહાનુભાવોને પોતાનું સ્થાન ગ્રહણ કરવાની નમ્ર વિનંતી છે. We will not hamper the convoy because he has other engagements at Banas Dairy as well. Thank you. Can we have the anthem, please?
This very body is soil. My body, your body, everybody is just soil body. Soil body. The magic of soil is it turns death into life.
ટીની વ્યવસ્થા રાખેલ છે, ચા પાણી નાસ્તાની વ્યવસ્થા છે, તો પ્લીઝ તેનો સ્વીકાર કરજો, પણ માત્ર થોડી ક્ષણો પછી. I request everyone to be kindly remain in the hall. કોઈ પોતાનું સ્થાન પોતાનો હોલમાંથી જશો નહીં. આભાર.
Depleted soils will not quench the fire of hunger. Unquenched hunger can burn the very world. This is a generational responsibility. Save soil. Let's make it happen.